from the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
Welcome to San Francisco, home of Fisherman's Wharf, Alcatraz, and Super Bowl 50. It's a week before the game, but the city is already full of fans anticipating the big game. I spent my first day in the Bay exploring Super Bowl City in downtown San Francisco, where fans gathered for live music, food, and entertainment.
They have a lot of booths, they have a lot of games, different like bars and things of that nature. A lot of the vendors have like virtual reality games and things of that nature, and it's just like they're going to have a concert here. At any given time, they're going to have different people performing, and so something's going to be going on all week, and just like in celebration for the game.
For the next week, the city stage will be hosting artists Matt Nathanson, One Republic, the band Perry, and Alicia Keys. And even before the Panthers had made it out to the Bay Area, their fans made their presence known at the festivities.
We were watching a video of their bus pulling off to the airport this morning, and I almost got teary just because it's so exciting that they're coming out here and that they get to do this, and they've put up with a lot of stuff and they've come a long way, and it's really exciting to see it actually happening and get to say we have been with them in their worst season and we get to be with them in their best season.
Stay tuned for more excitement from the Bay as the Panthers get ready to tango with the Denver Broncos. In San Francisco, I'm Samantha Ward, reporting. Super Bowl opening night, or it could also be called the Super Bowl of all media events. It was filled with coaches, players, fans, and media from everywhere. I knew it was going to be crazy, but I didn't expect to see this. Or this. Yeah, I clearly came underdressed to the party. And of course, the biggest crowd was surrounding Cam Newton. But don't worry, I elbowed my way to the front. Next, I caught up with UNC alum Sylvester Williams, defensive tackle of the Denver Broncos, and Trey Boston, safety for the Carolina Panthers.
Man, I think one of the lessons I had coached is one thing my coach always said, play smart, fast, and physical. And I think that's one thing that kind of stuck with me coming out of college. Coach Fedora preached that to us every day. It's one of his sayings, and I think that's one of the biggest things I just take with me everywhere I go.
It's amazing to still have all the love that I was getting at UNC and then have it transfer right over to Carolina Panthers. It's been a blessing. Not only do I get my UNC fans, but I have State and Duke fans. So that makes me feel like I'm doubling up on love that I shouldn't be getting, but I really appreciate it because it makes me feel like I'm doing something right for the Tar Heels.
Then I ended the night with Greg Jennings, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, running off with my microphone.
I'm dabbing with the guys. I'm dabbing with the guys. What? Hey, fellas. I know I'm interrupting, but we got to dab one time. We got to dab one time. See what I'm saying? I'm dabbing one time. Dabbing.
Don't worry, I eventually got the mic back. In San Francisco, I'm Samantha Ward, reporting.
An hour before kickoff, Franklin Street's Carolina Ale House was packed. Some came for the food, others for the drinks, but all had one thing in common. They were ready to root on the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, we went to both playoff games. We tried to go to the Super Bowl. It was like $30,000 a ticket, so we couldn't go.
And like Crampville, for fans like Christopher Babadania, looking past the dream of heading to San Francisco was easy. He was just ready for the Panthers to win.
I think Peyton Manning's very old, and I think it's Cam's time to shine. He gets that Super Bowl ring. Amen. He gets that Super Bowl ring, and he's gonna get that respect that he earns. That's for sure. I got high hopes. We're winning today. We're winning by a big chunk. That's for sure.
But like the yellow flags, the mood and excitement began to fall as the Broncos pushed ahead early in the game. However, one fan still had hope for his favorite team and wasn't scared to put his lips on the line.
If we win, I'm going to dab on every single one of these fools behind us and kiss every single person I know.
Though Hare's winning promise didn't quite come true, area fans still had a good time celebrating a great season for the Carolina Panthers. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lindsay Sparrow reporting.
Since 2003, SMT has changed the way we watch football on TV with the development of the famous yellow line.
Everyone assumes it's going to be there in a high-end production now. If you watch a football game and it's not there, something's wrong.
Hans Weber joined SMT in 2002 and developed the SMART technology, which generates the yellow line graphic. As the Vice President of Research and Development, he's constantly working to improve SMT's graphics products.
So it's a different kind of pressure, but it's a very interesting kind of application and product to work on because 20 million people see it every week.
During Super Bowl 50, SMT was responsible for 3 different graphics systems. SMART technology generates the line of scrimmage, the down and distance pill, and of course, the yellow first down marker. The QB stat system keeps track of statistics in real time and creates graphics for directors to call up during the game, such as the number of rushing touchdowns Jonathan Stewart had during the postseason. The next-gen stats take data from chips in the players' pads and create graphics that track stats such as speed and distance traveled.
We're focused on using our experience in broadcast television to know what it is that we can talk about, what we can present to them that will tell a better story.
SMT had a pretty big story to tell Sunday, with Super Bowl 50 attracting more than 100 million viewers. SMT has been preparing for the event for months. CBS account manager and UNC alum Ben Hayes directs the team.
We've been doing CBS football all season long. We were at every Thursday night football game, and then we've done every playoff game throughout the season, and it's been the same crew of 5 guys on site week after week after week. So it's the same system they've run, it's just bigger.
The NFL's biggest stage called for an equally impressive graphics package. In Durham, I'm Amanda Lee reporting.
The Super Bowl is arguably the biggest sporting event of the year. Millions upon millions of people tune in to watch the NFL's 2 best teams duke it out. For sophomore wide receiver Austin Proehl, it's become a family affair, thanks to his father Ricky.
He played in 4, I've been in all 4.
The elder Proehl played in Super Bowls 34 and 36 with the St. Louis Rams, 38 with the Carolina Panthers, and 41 with the Indianapolis Colts. He'll be coaching for the Panthers in Super Bowl 50. This one feels a little more special to Austin because of what it means for Charlotte.
There's a new vibe, there's an energy there, and everybody's having fun, and I think that's what the city, has wanted, and they deserve it.
The last time the Panthers were in the Super Bowl, Austin's father was part of a pivotal moment in the game. With less than 2 minutes to play, the Panthers were in Patriots territory, down by 7. Panthers quarterback Jake Delhomme was in shotgun when he took the snap and fired the ball to Ricky Proehl, who caught the game-tying touchdown. Obviously, Austin was happy.
I think just, wow. At that moment, I thought we were going to win the game. I think everybody thought we were going to win the game.
Unfortunately for the Proehl family, Ricky's touchdown wasn't enough, as Adam Vinatieri hit a 41-yard field goal to steal the Super Bowl for the Patriots.
It was a horrible feeling, but I think that's why this year has been so big, because we're finally back on top. Ricky honed his new role, coach, as Austin grew up. I think he did everything for me. From a young age, he always instilled many principles in me that, I live by today.
And Austin remains thankful to this day.
I think God's blessed me with him. I couldn't ask for anything more in a dad.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Brett Thompson reporting.
College football recruiting has blown up into a major industry, and it all leads to National Signing Day each year. Annie Martin of the football staff is preparing for a very busy day.
Well, signing day is a big celebration for our entire staff. Obviously, it's just an accumulation of all the efforts that we've done all year to ensure that we've got the best class that we do for this season.
The class of 2016 is currently ranked 19th according to Scouts.com.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby! Yeah!
Which is up from 24th in 2015. That rise might have something to do with the historic 11-3 season this past fall.
I will say it's an accumulation of a number of things. Obviously, our season was extremely helpful for us.
That success on the field has led to a class that might not have the 5-star talent, but is extremely deep with 25 commits.
There's not a really big signature guy, like a top 100 player or a big 4-star, big 5-star, but there's a lot of really solid players who are going to be able to build this program coming in as freshmen.
Two of those big players are Garrett Walston, who is a 4-star recruit and the 16th ranked tight end in the nation, and offensive guard J.J. McCargo, who is a 4-star and rated 19th at his position. It is sure to be an exciting day for the football Heels on Wednesday. In Chapel Hill, I'm Sean Cavanaugh reporting.
Concessions generated more than $1 million in revenue for UNC in 2015. What if there was some way to significantly increase that number? Well, West Virginia University found a way. WVU has been selling alcohol in its stadium since 2011. West Virginia reported a profit of about $500,000 last year in alcohol sales alone, which is what exercise and sports science professor Bob Malkoff says this movement is all about.
The pressure is so great to figure out ways to get more revenue to pay for, all the things that people are doing to try to keep up with other schools.
While selling alcohol at a college football game will get the crowd on its feet, Malkoff says providing beer for students might not be worth the risk.
Budgets upwards of $85, $90 million. Is there another way to raise that kind of money without having such a sort of controversial decision?
Despite the negatives of alcohol sales in college stadiums, more schools are joining the trend. 4 teams sell alcohol in the ACC: Syracuse, Louisville, Wake Forest, and Miami, along with previous ACC member Maryland. So, where does UNC stand?
We've not considered it.
Director of Operations Rick Steinbacher says it will be a while before UNC sells alcohol to students at Kenan Stadium because of a North Carolina state law. North Carolina public schools are currently prohibited from selling alcohol to most fans. UNC sells beer, wine, and liquor in the Blue Zone, but Steinbacher says the athletics department had to obtain a special permit to do so.
It was pretty apparent to us that with the higher price for those premium seating areas came really an expectation of there being some kind of alcohol service.
They stomp, they clap, and they yell. High school cheerleaders also fly through the air and flip across the floor, putting them at risk for serious injuries.
I've never hit my head so hard before. It almost bounced back up on the tile floor.
Bailey Atkins took a hard hit after falling 7 feet from a stunt.
I just sat there, I was like, Bailey, just laugh it off and get up, because that's what I usually do. My head was just pounding so hard, and then my cheer coach got down there and looked at me, and she saw automatically that there was blood.
She needed staples in her head. I took her to the hospital. Her whole body hit the mat except for that one part of her head.
But I was still ready to get back up there and do it again.
If a cheerleader falls from this height, it can have the same effect as being hit by a football player. But these statistics are often pushed to the sideline.
And then be as still as you can.
Dr. Jonna Register Mahalik of the National Center for Catastrophic Sports Injury Research studies these types of incidents.
I just think people don't expect cheerleaders to get injured.
But the reality is they do. Register Mahalik says it all comes down to regulation.
They're oftentimes not considered a sport, so they're not regulated in the same way. We see cheerleaders practicing advanced stunts without pads, without mats, without spotters, on very hard surfaces.
Atkins' fall took her out for 2 weeks. Now she's back at practice. But it's not the same as before. The school's athletics director passed down a new rule after Atkins' injury. No stunting at games for the rest of the season.
I wish we could do stunts still, because people get hurt in every single sport. It's going to happen.
Because even with the risk, Atkins says she was born to fly. In Chapel Hill, I'm Maddie Gardner reporting.
Since the day Brett Clark and Robert Kelly were paired together, they knew their games would be a great match on the court.
We play pretty similarly, so the transition was probably easier than it usually is when you switch partners. So that worked really well, and I think our success on the court has shown that.
After a stellar first season together, their bond off the court was what made this duo special.
We've become so close that we can kind of be at a dinner with people or be in a group, and when someone says something, we kind of give each other a look and we know exactly what the other one's thinking and kind of just smile. And no, it's a really cool relationship.
I know we were talking over winter break when we hadn't seen each other for a while. It was like a weird feeling because it seemed like we spent every day together because it was really mostly us two traveling together. So it was kind of weird not being with them for a while.
As their friendship has grown stronger, Kelly and Clark have learned to trust one another when the pressure is on.
If I say that he's going off the rails, that means he is going off the rails, instead of being like, look, man, you focus on yours, I'll focus on mine. We kind of have this cool relationship where we can tell each other when we're not meeting expectations.
I decided to put their knowledge of each other to the test with a round of the newlywed game.
Robert, what is Brett's favorite food?
I mean, this could depend when and where. I'm gonna go with chicken parm. No? Nuggets? Chipotle. Oh my goodness.
Space out on you.
Oh, that was bad.
That was bad.
He has like coupons, like $300 worth of coupons to Chipotle.
Senior tennis player Ashley Dye has had a solid career on the court in her 4 years in Chapel Hill. Some believe her most important legacy is her decision to come out to her teammates and the UNC athletics community after her freshman season.
For my teammates in particular, it was a very good process. Well, for one, it wasn't as hard because in my head, I felt like you guys have to love me and respect me in order for us to be successful. But this was something that I had no control over. And so I think being more open about it not only made me happier, but made me play better and be closer to my teammates, my roommates, my friends, my coaches.
In addition to her full-time athletics and academic schedules, Dye has worked with several organizations to help foster a safe and nurturing environment for athletes who are struggling with coming to terms with their identity.
In such a heteronormative society, especially in athletics, understanding yourself and getting to know yourself and accepting yourself is such a huge weight off your shoulders. And I guess the biggest thing is that you're not alone. That's what I love so much about the LGBTQ community, is that it doesn't matter where you're from, what color you are, that people are so accepting and, you know, that people aren't alone.
If Dye's experience here shows us all one thing, it's that regardless of our identities, we all bleed the same Carolina blue. In Chapel Hill, I'm Corey John, reporting.
Are you tired of being a NARP? Well, stress no longer, you non-athletic regular people of UNC, because I, Peyton Walker, have gone undercover to prepare a tutorial for you in which you will learn the basics of athletic swag. I'm standing here with first-year rower Margaret High, who's going to help us out with step number 1, and that is the gear.
So first, what I'm going to show you is a pullover. And this is what's important for this pullover, the logo. So here we have some really good sweatpants. It reminds you of the bed that you never get to sleep in. The tell-all, this is what everyone has. If you're an athlete, you have the shoes.
To my right here is track star COAs, and he's going to be helping us out with step number 2, and that is the walk.
No. You're not there. You're not there. Yeah, keep your shoulders back. And, you know, just walk like you're the only person who's walking. Maybe a head nod to another crew you see walking your way, and, you know, you keep moving.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Bell third. I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Bell third.
All right, so I'm here in Kenan Stadium with receiver Taylor Vipolis, and he's going to help us with step number 3, and that is the lingo.
Our nutritionist will give us those green Gatorade bottles, and we refer to those as GGBs. While most students go to the library, we go to Loudermilk, or we call that Loudy or the Milk.
While Carolina fans see the green grass of Keenan as Ramsey's home, the Ram prefers his own grass right outside of Chapel Hill at the Hogan's Magnolia View Farm, spending time with his family. The 3 acres of farm is where it all started for the beloved mascot.
The Ram is very accustomed to people, and he prefers to be here, but once he realizes that he's on the job, he calms down and he performs admirably.
Even though Ramesses enjoys his social Saturdays at Keenan, he can't wait to get back to the farm where the Hogan family cares for his partner Stella and their babies.
Stella likes to be out in the wild, and if you approach her, she'll move away. She's very protective of her babies. She, will definitely warn you if you come too close with the babies, or she'll, head off down into the woods with them if you try to get too close to her.
And who can blame Stella? She gave birth to the twins, Ollie and Marvin, only 2.5 weeks ago. People are already asking if one of them will be the next Ramesses.
We have started to work with them, but Stella's very protective. So we're giving them a little bit of space right now, and they run fast, so it's kind of a challenge. It can be a challenge to catch them, but they'll be ready.
Because Ramesses is still young and healthy, the babies still have some time to play around before taking on mascot responsibilities. Until then, Ramesses fans will just have to go visit them.
We have a lot of people driving down the road that try to see them, and you see cars sort of like swerving off the road as they're looking into the field.
It might be a few years before we see the twins, Ollie and Marvin, at Keenan Stadium. That is, if we can finally catch them. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jasmine Cornwell reporting.